Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Round 11 podcast. As always, I'm Cruisin' Spaz, joined alongside Chance and Zarin. Today on the Round 11 podcast, we're going to be going over all things CDL London. We're going to be talking about the groups, the matches that are going to be happening, at least the first four matches. We're going to go over our power rankings, and we have a exciting little topic to end with. And then to start our show today, for some reason, Zarin would like to talk about the Super Bowl, so we're going to talk about the Super Bowl for a little bit. Zarin,
we have to talk about the Super Bowl.
I guess so.
It's the biggest event of the year. Everybody's watching.
I mean, I'm down. So I was going for the 49ers. I don't know. They lost. I'm a Patriot fan. It's weird not having my team in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah. Everybody was thankful for that. We have a Tennessee Titans fan as well.
We were one game away.
Yeah.
But at least we lost to the people who won the Super Bowl. That's all that matters.
That doesn't matter at all, actually, because you weren't there. So, anyways, what do you guys think of the game?
I thought it was pretty boring, even though last year's was worse.
The first half was boring because it ended 10-10, and then it picked up like the last quarter.
The last quarter was a little... I actually called the win, too. I was like, yo, these guys can literally put up 21 points in like 10 minutes, and they literally did that.
That's exactly what they did.
So, I'm not just a Call of Duty expert, guys. I know football, too.
Well, except in the third quarter, you're like, yes, 49ers, hashtag 49ers.
I'm so glad his mic just cut out like three times. Made me so happy.
Okay, I'm going to say it again.
We heard you. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good. Because everybody started roasting you, including myself. I didn't tweet anything.
Actually, yeah, I was getting cyberbullied. All right, not you, but I was getting cyberbullied by this kid right here, and he's a freaking Steelers fan. So you know what? I can't be cyberbullied by him.
Hey, I had a rough year. Okay.
Well, every year's a rough year when you're a Steelers fan.
Hey.
Yeah.
The past 10 years have been a rough year for us. Okay.
Yeah.
We made it.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill is still your quarterback, so I mean, your tough years aren't getting any better.
That's
okay. You won't be talking once Tom Brady goes to. So.
Yeah.
To where?
Upsets.
Tennessee.
The Titans.
Yeah, I doubt he's going to go to
Bill
Tennessee.
Belichick has a house like 20 minutes.
They're not going to go to Tennessee.
One.
Whatever. Anyways.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Okay. This is not a football podcast.
Yeah. Okay. One last thing. Halftime show.
Shakira.
I enjoyed it. It looked like
it was meh.
Dude, it was awesome. Like I hate all their music, but like it was.
I hated all the music too, but it's like Post Malone would be a 10 times better halftime show than that. So
Shakira is 43.
That's crazy.
And
J-Lo is 50. Yeah, they look great for their age, but
yeah, that Shakira's always been. I think Shakira's looked the same for 5 years.
She hasn't looked any different since I was a kid.
Yeah, so, which was what 1946, 7.
Sounds about right. All right, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
So, at CDL London, we have 8 teams going. We have Group A, which is the Huntsmen, Empire, Gorillas, and the Surge, and then in Group B we have the Ravens, Subliners, Legion, and the Ultra. So if you guys want to talk about it really quick, so how it's going to work is 2 teams from every division or from each group is going to go into a 4-team bracket basically. And to get out of the group stage, it's literally not how it was before, where if there was like a tiebreakers and shit like that, now it's like literally you have to win to get in to the bracket. Right. So it's like once you win 2 matches, you're in. Once you lose 2 matches, you're out. That's it. So one team's going to go 2-0, one team's going to go 2-1. One team's going to go 1-2, and the other team's going to go 0-2, and that's just how it's going to be.
It's basically like how upper bracket and lower bracket work at any other tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Just group play is starting in the upper and lower bracket. That's all.
Yeah.
Which I actually like. I like that one.
Yeah, I like it better than just kind of. It makes it feel more like a tournament.
I like it too. I still wish that they could have all the teams there, so there'd be 6 in each group. I think that would be a much better format too, and then just have the top 4 teams from each, and then see them in an 8-man bracket. But the problem is, and what I heard from watching the Mavens podcast with TP was what they were saying was they had all the venues booked already for 2-day events because of how the format was supposed to work before. So because they already had the venues booked, they couldn't like change the bookings on the venues. So they had to keep it smaller events. That's why it's only Saturday and Sunday shows now.
Right.
as opposed to having a Friday matches.
Which
So
makes sense.
I'm kind of fine with just 2 days.
so
This
am
is
I.
like-
It's a little bit less to watch, right? Especially
I
for
like
us.
I like 3 days. Obviously, when it was the CWO, but that was also because there was one event every month and a half, 2 months.
Right.
But when
And
it's
now
like
we're
every week, or
every other weekend, yeah.
I can't watch 3 out of 7 days straight COD.
Right. I mean, I can, but
I mean, I can, but it's like it gets tiring almost.
it definitely will. And just like in World War II, watching freaking Arden's Force CTF over and over again, that's
Oh
just
my
you
God.
can't. Like these maps are going to get very stale unless they start adding more maps in. But I don't even want to get back into that again.
There's what, 4 maps in the rotation?
I think there's 4 maps in the competitive rotation right now.
Is it
Realistically,
Arklav, Petro, Gunrunner, Hackney?
maybe 5 for
Cave.
Hardpoint. I think there's 5 for Hardpoint, and then 4 for Surge.
Yeah, because there's also Cave.
Oh yeah, Cave and Ramaza.
Yeah,
But Arklav is only for S&B.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it's like 4 or 5. And I'm pretty sure for Domination, there's literally only 3 maps. Each team gets rid of a map, and then they play whatever map is left. That's how it works in
yeah,
Vetoes.
Hackney, Gunrunner, and Petro.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but Gunrunner is by far the best map in that game, in my opinion. I really enjoy that map. So who do you guys think is going to get out of Group A? Again, it's the Huntsman, Empire, Guerrillas, and the Seattle Surge.
Easily the Huntsman.
Yeah,
That-
well,
that-
I definitely think it's going to be Huntsman, Empire, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
don't see it
order,
being different.
because I kind of could see Empire beating Huntsman at this tournament, weirdly enough, even though I said last one I thought Huntsman were going to win, and they did. I could easily see Empire just showing up and stomping them in London, just because they're probably more fired up at this point than Chicago was.
This is really tough for me because Group A is obviously way more stacked than Group B.
Right. I look at
like 3 of these teams can be in the top 5.
Right. I look at Group B and I'm like, I have no idea who's getting out of that group. That's like a very interesting group as well.
Group A, my 2 picks will be in Chicago.
Sorry, I didn't hear your first one.
Yeah, who's your first one?
Dallas and Chicago.
Dallas and Chicago.
Dallas is definitely going to bounce back.
Yeah,
There's no doubt in my mind.
for sure.
I think they're gonna get. I think they're gonna get 2-0'd again. I think
Wow.
they're going under.
You think they're gonna? You think they're gonna get
I think
0-2'd?
I think they're gonna go 0-2. But yeah.
You
like-
think the Dallas Empire are gonna start the season 0-4? Because if they
Part of
go
me
0-2,
thinks
that's all
it
they're
would
gonna
be-
play.
it would- right. It would be an upset. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not 0-2. But I just feel like they're the type of team, like especially Krim, just gets in their head. They
Right.
just get in their own heads.
I feel like if Dallas goes 0-2 this weekend, they're making a roster change and they're trading somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about
mean,
that.
The only way you're right. The only way I think they're gonna lose to the Surge is Karma has to go off, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
The Surge looked terrible
Right.
at
And that's what's the
first
only,
weekend.
The only saving grace they have is Karma. So
I don't know. The Surge should have been a much better team than they were, but
I don't know that they were that bad. I mean,
they went
they went
lost.
0-2. I think they won 1 map
Right.
the entire weekend, didn't they?
no, they went to Game 5 in one series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They,
So they won 2 maps then. They got 0-3 the other game, didn't they? I don't remember
Yeah,
100%. But
I forget who they played, but Seattle's like not. They didn't play as bad as everyone's making them out to.
I don't
I
know.
think it's
be
just
like-
I think it's just holding Karma's name that people think they should have just
Yeah, it's
been a lot better than they were.
And I think their search and destroy was the worst thing about their entire game. They looked like they had no, and they even said they
was
weren't
pretty
practicing it.
abysmal.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That's a big word for you.
You're not wrong.
I don't think I've ever heard James say abysmal in my life.
Yeah. As for Dallas, for me, I think all it was a couple weekends ago was that their egos got to them, and we saw how big, teams' heads get sometimes, and just look what happened to Optic in AW,
Like maybe
COD
they
champs.
just expected to win.
Yeah, they
Right.
went into COD champs with, 5 or 6 straight tournament
Yeah, it was
wins.
the same thing back to back years. AW and
Yeah.
BO3, same thing. And they
And-
got 7th at both tournaments.
Yeah, and they finished 7th because everybody knew, or everybody thought they knew that they.
It's almost like
And
a
they
Crypt
did
6
too.
thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, And
Well, that's why
I know
that's why I
I
said I thought they'd struggles because like
I
I feel
don't.
like Crim just get in their own head.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to struggle again. I think that was a kind
no.
of a fluke type of thing. But
You know what? I haven't heard much from them since that tournament,
no,
so I really
they've
think
probably just been grinding.
yeah,
Probably.
no
Yeah, I
doubt.
haven't seen. I don't think I've seen almost any of them streaming scrims. I think they've just been hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that doesn't surprise me at all either.
Mhm.
But yeah, no.
But
So
on the other hand,
go ahead.
Huntsman have been streaming every single scrim. So
I don't think I don't think streaming scrims is as big of a deal as everybody says it is.
I don't think it's a big deal at all. I'm just saying it would appear on the outside as if I know it'll be later in the tournament, but it seems like Chicago's way more confident if they're willing to put what they're doing out there and do it. And when Dallas has to make a bunch of changes,
Yeah.
Right. I think Chicago could probably win this event if they stay like what's the word I'm looking for? If they stay like hyped, like they're definitely going to be a very momentum based team this year. Arcities always has been, Scump and Formal always have been. Like they need to keep their momentum rolling to do very very well, even throughout all the tournaments, right? So it's like I definitely could see them winning, but like if they lose a match, that could honestly like really hurt them as well.
as
Yeah.
long as they stay hyped and Gunless acts like he still doesn't have any clue what's going on, they're gonna win this event by far.
Yeah.
You know who I would actually kind of like to see win the event, though? I know we haven't even started talking about Group B yet, but I really want to see London win the event in London. I just, because of how
That
that
would be
crowd is, I would love to see, like, Ravens Huntsman final. I think that would be a great final.
That'd be a good one.
I think London has the second best crowd that I've ever seen at an event.
Second
first
best?
one being first one I think is MLG Anaheim.
Yeah.
They're always insane, but London is a close second. Like remember Birmingham? Was it last year?
Yeah,
Or-
last year was Birmingham.
Birmingham was nuts.
That was crazy.
That
Their
was one of the
crowd
most
too
exciting
made
events.
it even better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah. That's also going to be a really good event. But Paris, like, just going to segue into Group B. They're probably, like, I could easily say, yeah, they're going to come out of Group B because they went 2-0 first week. But London and New York are still scary teams, no matter how poorly they may have played at times at the first event.
Sorry.
So it's gonna be a tough.
Sorry, London and who? I didn't hear your second
New
team.
York.
London and New York. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see New York being like, because they struggled last event, but I could see them kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
this week.
It's because London is literally the old phase team. It's like you're either going to get a top 4 placing or you're going to finish top 16. So
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I don't have very much faith in that New York team, to be honest, to do anything very much. Do you guys want to move on to Group B now? So
Yeah.
I think we all picked Huntsman Empire to make it out, or James, did you pick
Yeah.
somebody else?
No, I picked Huntsman Empire.
How did you pick the Empire though? When you said that you thought they
No,
were
'cause
going to
I
go
changed-
0-2?
No, I changed my answer. I changed. I thought about it again. I was like, I don't think they'll go 0-2.
Oh,
I
okay.
definitely don't think.
No. You heard me talk.
That's what it
We-
was.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it
Sorry,
was.
my bad. Okay, so Group B: London, Subliners, Paris, and Ultra. Now, I can tell you what I want to see happen, and what I think will happen. I think I would really like to see London and Paris both make it out, and then because I believe how it works is whoever makes it out plays each other again, and then the winner of that plays in the finals. I think that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
And so imagine having that London-Paris rivalry again already. It'd be the third time they match up already, because didn't they play launch weekend as well?
I think so. Yeah.
So it'd be it'd be cool just to have a rivalry of the two EU teams, because both of them are pretty good.
That's something.
And
other
Paris
than that,
slapped
Chicago.
them the first time they played each other too.
And honestly, I think there's gonna be support for Paris at the event too.
Yeah.
Like not obviously near as big as London, but I'd expect to see some of the French show up to the event for sure.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. No, I wouldn't be surprised either.
What I'd like to see London and Toronto make it out.
Right.
But what I think is going to happen is going to be London and New York.
Really?
Yeah, I actually think London and Paris are going to make it out. That's my pick.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be London or Paris.
My opinion on Paris has completely changed since that first weekend. Like they looked so good.
Yeah.
And Kismet looks like a beast at this game. So
Oh yeah, and he was right. He's like, everyone's gonna shut up after last week's event.
Yeah. I just expect New York to come back stronger.
Zuma looked really good.
I'm
think
not
they'll look
completely
good,
sold
but
on them.
I can't see them getting out of groups.
I'm not sold on them, but I could definitely see them making it.
Imagine they go 0-4 and then Doug Sensor Martin gets a spot on the team.
Yeah, and I'll quit this podcast.
Yeah, I was about to say that'd be the end of the podcast for me.
All right, you guys heard it. You guys heard it here first. If Sensor gets a spot on the New York Subliners, the podcast is going solo.
Now, granted, when Atlanta rolls around, if the Mutineers don't put Maniac in, I'm also quitting this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Has Maniac even played this COD? That's what I
don't
wonder.
think so.
I
Last
mean,
time
he
I
doesn't
saw him
stream.
streaming, he was DJing. So
True. All right.
What do you guys expect out of Toronto and Los Angeles?
The Gorillas could sleeper on Chicago. I feel the Gorillas could beat Chicago only because Ace is still gonna have that fire to beat Chicago because it's the same team. In his mind, he's like Optic is dead to him now. He's all just wants to beat Chicago. That's for a fact.
Yeah.
So I could see him coming out with that fire and maybe beating Chicago, but that's like the only way I see Chicago losing.
I don't see it. Yeah, it kind of like what I said about Seattle. Aches has to go big. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm just saying it could. And then Toronto
get forfeited again.
I mean, Toronto. Apparently, there's rumors that freaking Bance is starting.
Oh yeah, for who was it?
I don't even know who it's gonna be for. Cammy maybe, I don't know. But like, how do you have one event and not even a real event really? It was like league matches, and then you're gonna have other people coming in already.
I don't.
And did Toronto go 1-1?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They didn't look
they
bad.
went 0-2.
No, who'd they lose their second match to? The Mutineers, right? Or did they?
So,
yeah. So I mean, I guess that's not a. I don't know.
I'm with you. I think it's too early to talk about making changes.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the team.
I guess if there's something we don't know, like behind the scenes.
That's true too.
Like
maybe they're just like next guy up type of thing, and they're just trying to find their best five. That's very possible too.
I don't see a problem with it. If they think that starter dead, then why not?
I mean, Bance is also a world-class player, so I was surprised that he wasn't on the starting roster in the first place. And also, Bance is from Europe, so maybe they're trying to get some European love at the tournament by having Bance on the team.
It could be publicity, you're right. It could be trying to get some of those European fans on their side.
But hey, if it works, like, we're going to shut. But if it doesn't, then they're going to look pretty dumb.
Yeah. I don't know.
If they go 0-2 and get destroyed, they're going to look stupid.
Yeah.
And it would also look bad for Bance to join the team and then go 0-2.
He would probably lose his spot next guy up, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about the let's go into the matches a little bit. So the first match of the weekend at 6 a.m. on Saturday. I don't know if I'm waking up for that one. Paris, I may stay awake for that one actually. Now that I think about it.
Oh, it's 5 a.m. for me. I forgot I was an hour behind you guys.
Paris Legion versus the New York Subliners.
Paris 100%.
I think Paris is also going to win that match.
I'm going to
go. I think they'll go undefeated in Search and Destroy. But
I'm going to go New York 3-1 and Paris wins the S&D.
Okay, I think Paris is going to.
I think that's wrong.
I don't think Paris' strongest mode even looked like S&D. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think New York's going to take the S&D. Because Attached is just cracked 20% of the time. Granted, so is Kismet. But other than that, it's completely Paris. I would say 3-1.
Okay, MVP of the match.
Between them two?
Kismet, probably.
Kismet.
I'm going to go with Brezzy.
Okay.
Even in a 3-1 loss, Brezzy.
You think so?
Yep. No, I know so.
You also knew that they were going to go undefeated in S&D.
Yeah, well, they went undefeated, so...
That's different. That's completely different.
But I said...
I don't know, man. I feel like New York is just so... Like, they looked... I know you guys said they didn't look that bad. Like, they look bad. Like...
I can't wait till we talk about power ranking.
Them in Seattle after both they just looked so bad at that event last weekend. Like, it's hard for me to, like, they both dropped so many. I know we're not even talking power rankings yet, but they dropped so many spots in my power rankings. Like, I had New York at number 4 and Seattle at number 6, and like they both plummeted down.
I think the difference between Seattle and New York for me is that they both did very bad, but I feel like now granted they don't stream on stuff, so I don't see what's going on. But I feel like New York kind of just expected to be good
Yeah.
with their roster, and
Same
it
thing
seems
with
like
Dallas.
yeah,
And
but it
Seattle.
seems like after Seattle lost, this is what I see on social media. It seemed like they were a lot more aware of what they were struggling with because they were all tweeting about it on the flight home,
Right.
saying we really failed in this, this, and this. And then I'm pretty sure I think it was Zuma who tweeted out something like, "I don't know what happened, just didn't play up to par." And it's like they didn't seem as aware of where they struggled. So I think
I can
Seattle's
tell
gonna
you
be
where they
good
struggled. They struggled everywhere.
right.
Like
New York, no lie, was straight up awful. They were terrible.
You
temp
could even say they were abysmal.
You very well could.
temp temp did not look like the temp that we normally see either.
Temp was garbage. His KD was negative in every game mode
Right.
by a lot.
Usually we can say KD doesn't matter, but when you go 0-2 on the weekend, KD kind of matters
It affects your team at some point.
for
Like,
sure.
He was
Well,
garbage.
I think everybody was negative on the team but Tommy. Zuma, sorry. But
I'm not going to talk about temp.
Yeah, I New York's too good to suck again. They're gonna win this match.
I think I'd be actually like willing to put money on that match with you.
I
That they're
think
going to
they'll
lose that
improve.
match.
I think they'll improve.
I think
But-
they'll improve over time. I can't see them doing any well this tournament.
Yeah,
And if they start off and they go down like 0-1 in map count, I feel like they're just going to get 3-0'd, to be honest, to Paris.
Well,
And I mean,
especially because
honestly,
Paris
I
is gonna
hope
win.
they do well because then I don't want to see every week it just be basically Paris, Dallas, and Chicago and see who's going to get slapped the most. I want it to be even across the
Well,
board.
what's
Yeah.
really good though about like the CDL this year is I feel like this is the highest competition that they've ever had with only having 12 teams. Every team
Right.
seems like they're pretty good. Like I thought, like I said, I thought Paris was going to be awful, and they came out and got 2-0 or like went 2-0 last weekend, right? So
right? Because it's not like you have to worry about phase not making pool play
right,
and then find out what you have to do with attach and zoom and all of them. Like they have the top people on the top 12, and I think that's how it should be.
right. So what were our final picks? I think Paris 3-1.
Same.
I said New York 3-1.
Okay. Next match is Dallas and Seattle.
I
have Dallas.
I'm calling a Dallas 3-0. That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm gonna say
Oh.
Dallas 3-1. I feel like Seattle's gonna take. I don't want to say they'll take the S&D, but I think Seattle will take one match.
I
off.
definitely don't think Seattle's going to take the S&D. They looked awful in S&D. And Dallas, the only map they won was S&D, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Dallas got just the rough hand. Like people are talking bad about them now, and I'm like, they played the best two teams arguably, Huntsman and
Yeah.
FaZe. So I mean, they're gonna bounce back. They're gonna be
They didn't start. They didn't start on Seattle and New York.
right. I think they're gonna cream Seattle. Seattle looked really bad last week, in my opinion.
Yeah. My bet is 3-1.
It's so hard not to pick Dallas. For some reason, I'm feeling like they're just not there. I think Seattle's gonna win 3-2, and it's gonna come down to Octane. Octane is gonna have the series of his life. He's gonna have the tournament of his life.
You think so?
I think Seattle's gonna lose, but take one of the hard points. Like if they split the hard points, Seattle's winning the Dom. And coming down to Game 5 S&D, like Dallas is really good at S&D, but for some reason I'm just feeling like Seattle's gonna.
I mean, to be fair, like everything seemed to have been an upset last weekend, so I mean, it's definitely not out of the works. But I feel like Dallas is gonna win.
Yeah, I expect them to be really, really good. Probably expect them to win the entire event, to be honest, Dallas. But
You expect
I
Dallas
just-
to win the entire event?
yeah, I just think, I don't know, with this match, Seattle's really, really.
I could see Dallas winning later
Yeah.
events. I don't know if they're gonna win this event. Maybe if they get like rolling, like if they like steamroll Huntsman in like the second match, maybe. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say Huntsman they have to lose their first map against the Gorillas for Dallas to beat them later on, I think. But if Huntsman goes up, 1-0 going into it and then has to play Dallas later on, I think it's over.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that when Chicago and Dallas match up, because I'm assuming they will at least win, like in the winners final, do you think that Chicago's going to have the same fire that they had the first time they played, trying to beat them?
100%.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because I think they wouldn't want to be like shut up. They don't want to make it look like a fluke that they beat them the first time.
Right.
So
Yeah,
they're gonna be even
I
more
agree.
hyped about it. And then,
But do you think they'll be like
also, on the
jumping
other
up,
hand,
getting in their faces like they were last time, though?
if it's another 3-0, I think they will.
I'm gonna change my answer.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm gonna change my answer. I think Dallas is 2 against Seattle.
Okay.
I think Dallas is gonna win the last SN. Hard points are gonna be split. Seattle wins it down.
Okay.
Okay.
So you think Dallas will win both S&Ds then? Which I could definitely see
Yeah.
because Seattle looked really bad at S&D.
Yeah, I just
All right, next match. Chicago and the LA Gorillas.
3-0, Chicago.
I think 3-1. I can see the Gorillas winning the S&D.
My gut says to go 3-1, but
I feel like if the Gorillas can steal the domination, they could probably win the series.
Mhm.
But I can just see Chicago winning 3-1.
I think if they get beaten too bad on hardpoint, they won't be. They'll just be too down to go back for a win. So I think it's gonna be Chicago.
It's going to be very hard to outslay Chicago. Sorry, Zarin. I can see you want to say something.
no, it's okay. I was just I'm gonna go Chicago 3-0 as well. The only way LA wins the series is if they win first hard point. That's basically it.
You don't think
I
you don't think they could steal a surge off of them?
No, I think they can, but the first game is going to be critical.
Mm.
Like, is Eggs going to be standing?
I wish
up
we knew
yelling
that. Right. I wish we could know like what the maps are right now too, but we
Yeah, because if and Lacefield brings fire too. Like,
won't. Yeah.
if by the end of map 1, LA somehow wins and Eggs and Lacefield are just standing up yelling at them,
Right.
I think they have a real good shot at winning. But the first hard point, I just think, like you said, Chicago's way too powerful.
Yeah.
Everybody's so good on that team.
Yeah,
So
Yeah. When Envoy's your worst player, there's
you're doing
Yeah.
something.
maybe even Gunless was their worst because Envoy looked really good last weekend. So
That's true.
if Gunless is your worst player, you're
in a
doing
good-
something
you're in a
right.
good position.
yeah.
Anything else you guys want to say on that match?
No, 3-0.
Yeah, we just think it's gonna be quick. I think 3-1.
agree.
Royal Ravens versus Ultra. I would like to say that the Ravens are gonna slap Ultra, but I mean, I don't know what we're gonna get out of them. I would hope that they come out firing in front of their home crowd and that they're gonna like 3-0 or 3-1 Ultra. But like, I can also see Ultra winning this match just because
I need a quick refresher. Last
Yeah.
weekend, who benefited from the Gorillas forfeit? Was that Minnesota or was that?
it was Minnesota because they were the
Okay,
home
never
team.
mind then.
Yeah,
I was
wrong
gonna say, I know
purple
Toronto
team.
went 1-1. Wrong purple team. Gotcha.
Oh.
I think I don't know.
Wrong northern team.
Wrong northern team. I'm not gonna get into that, Gary V. The fake.
Did you see what Paris tweeted out? They're like, actually, we're the furthest north.
Yeah. I think part of me thinks Toronto's gonna take it 3-2. That's what I would like to see.
Right. So wait, that's what you want. What's your actual call though?
My actual call is, I think Toronto's gonna take it 3-2.
Okay.
Because I feel like Bance is gonna show up. If he is a sub, I think he's gonna
Right.
show up.
I gotta agree with James. Like, I don't know what it is. I think London's gonna come out hot, but I think Toronto's gonna come out even hotter.
Okay, I'm gonna call London 3-1. I think Toronto will win a map. I think London's gonna win the series. Toronto looked a lot better than I thought they were going to last weekend.
Yeah.
Now, note this roster change could really fuck with them, or it could really help them. So we don't really know what we're gonna get out of Toronto. That's why I'm taking London.
It depends on who they're taking out.
Yeah, I mean it's not gonna be Methods Classic or Looney. So
No.
because those are three staples in Call of Duty, and you can't take any of them out, no matter how bad Classic was last year.
Who were it was Cammy and who was the other? Who was the fifth?
Wow, I can tell you 1 second. I actually don't remember.
It was Cammy Methods Classic and
My bad.
it's a good question.
Yeah.
Was it Metals? I think it's Metals they're taking
Oh,
out,
yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
they're taking Cammy out. I think they're taking Metals out
Okay, yeah, I could see Metals going out.
for Bants. Do you guys think Kleenex will get a like? Who do you guys think the next guy up will be after this for them if they are just continuing to
If they
sub
make
people in and
another
out?
change,
Yeah,
there's one.
I think it would be Brack
Yeah.
or Mayhem, but most likely
I,
Brack.
I wonder when
I see
Kleenex
Brack
is going to
more
get
than
his shot.
I told you, I said this in the first podcast. By mid-year, he'll be a starter on the team like time.
Right.
You think so?
I'm fully confident that he will. He's probably one of the most talented guys on the team. But he's 18, so like it's hard to
Yeah.
just put him in right away.
Yeah, I know that's true too.
I mean, they did it with
I just saw.
Yeah.
You know what Kleenex's middle name is? I'm sorry. His middle name is Jewel.
Jewel?
Yeah, his name is Tobias Jewel Johnson.
Juul or Jewl.
Juul. That's why I'm laughing.
Good kid from Denmark. I got
But so what were you guys?
I
You guys both take Toronto. What's your map call on it?
3-2 as well, Toronto.
All right, and
I
then
think it'll be a good game.
later with all our
Yeah.
with everybody that we have in our pick pool, I'm gonna post it up. I think what we'll have to do though is everybody is kind of gonna have to pay attention. Like I'm gonna try my best to post in the in the group chat and stuff or like post on Twitter at least and get everybody picking who they think is gonna win. But it's gonna be a little bit hard too, especially if I'm not like at home watching them. But we'll see.
Right.
Crazy enough, it's gonna end. Like the event on Saturday is gonna end at 2 p.m.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
weird.
crazy.
And then same thing with Sunday. Sunday's like grand finals supposed to be at 1:30
Yeah, I'm gonna miss literally all
or
of it.
3. I don't know. On what Sunday?
I'm gonna miss both days, like completely.
Why?
Well, I'm
Is that when you're
casting.
going to? Right, you have your.
Yeah, so I'm casting the college league on Saturday afternoon.
Oh,
at 2.
you're casting College COD now?
Yeah. Well, like I'm casting the St. Clair game.
Okay.
So that's at 2:00, and I'm gonna be there 2 hours to talk, stuff like that. And then I work, and then I'm driving 2 hours to my friend's place, and then Sunday I'm driving back home.
Oh, damn.
All right.
So I'm gonna miss all the action this weekend.
So everybody heard it here first. Zaren's opinion will not matter next weekend.
No, I'm gonna watch it back and then laugh in your faces when I get every.
You're
Like
not gonna.
Paris going undefeated in S&D.
Dude, they went undefeated.
But you said they were gonna go 0-2 on the
You
weekend.
said they were gonna. You said they were gonna go
0-2 and undefeated on Surge. You were wrong on both.
They got the 2 and they got the undefeated part.
That's all it was.
You know what? You're backwards.
Oh, you need some aloe vera for that burn.
No, honestly, like you guys are so dumb sometimes.
Because we didn't.
Because we didn't think that, the Paris Legion
Bro,
were
you
going to
guys
go.
never take shit. Oh my god, Chicago's such a.
I mean, I'm not taking
Yeah.
chances. I just am calling it how it's going to happen.
No,
I'm-
you're not. You're picking. The
What do you mean? The
best
Ravens?
team.
Okay, the Ravens are going to beat the Ultra. That's not even a question in my mind.
Who was your top 3 last week in your power rank?
almost took-
But the
I
top 3 in my
almost took
power
Seattle
rankings
over
last
Dallas.
weekend
That's-
were.
That's a risk.
1 second. The top 3 in my power rankings last weekend were FaZe, Huntsman, and Empire. If you can't tell me.
Oh, big shot!
If you can't tell, who were your top 3? You had
Good
fucking
pick.
London in there for some reason.
Dallas, Seattle, and London.
Yeah, and
London,
Seattle's
first
number
series.
12 in my fucking power rankings this week
well,
because they looked like
you're an
absolute
idiot.
garbage.
Wait, Seattle 12?
Yeah,
what is wrong with
because they looked like garbage.
There was 4 other teams way worse than they were.
I disagree.
Well, that's why you're wrong.
Oh yeah, how'd you do on your picks last week?
I don't care. You got one more right than me.
Thank you. I'm winning over you.
Seattle's number 5 for me this week. They were 2, and now they're 5 because they're still. a
You're an
really good
idiot,
team.
bro. 0-2. They were one of only 4 teams to go 0-2, and you have them at number 5.
You have 5.
But they're a strong team.
How do you have them at
They're
number
the most
5?
I think what you mean is they have potential.
I
to
could
be a
see them in the
contender.
top 12 to 9.
Okay.
I could see them
'Cause I
12 to
have
9.
them
I
at
cannot
9.
see them top 5. See, look, he
Bro.
even has them at number 9.
How are they gonna jump that like vastly over the course of one.
Well, I mean,
weekend.
I had them at number 6, and I dropped them 6 spots. So I mean, that's not
Well-
that bad. But like
Well, they're still 12.
because
when you
they're
have-
terrible. I can't,
When you have teams like LA and
bruh. Seattle's not even gonna make it out of groups.
you're an idiot.
They're in a group with Chicago and Dallas. They're not making it out of that group.
That I can agree with, but they're not gonna be a pushover.
I think that if Seattle was in Group B, maybe they could go.
You're telling me right now that out of the 8 teams at this event, Seattle is the worst?
Off of last weekend, yes.
No.
No, I'm not looking at their.
No.
I'm not looking at their total results. I'm looking off how
Well, you
everybody.
should be.
Okay, bro. I don't look at these
How
teams
they
and
practice over the last 3 months.
bro. If you look at
They
how
are not the worst team.
power rankings work on how teams are playing right now. How did they play last week? Out of all the teams here, they played the worst out of all these teams. Them and New York, it's very close.
No.
New York is number 11 for me, Seattle number 12. So if you can't tell me that they were the worst 2 teams last weekend, you are wrong.
New York, I have at 11. New York was
I
infinity times worse.
There
than
were-
Seattle
New York is
was.
10.
Okay,
New York is 10.
okay.
Seattle went to game 5 at least. New York didn't win a fucking match.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know. I just thought Seattle looked terrible. I don't know. And all I'm saying too is with fucking there were what 3 teams that weren't the Dallas Empire that went 0-3, 0-2 last weekend. Who was the third one? It was it was Optic.
Yeah.
That team
Optic.
is definitely gonna bounce back. That's not even a question in my mind. I don't
have them
know.
at 11.
Yeah, I got him at
12.
I got him at number 10. So I feel you. The 3 teams that went 0-2 are in my bottom 12, are on my bottom 3, except for Chicago, who stayed in number 3 for me. I didn't move them. Dallas, yeah, I didn't move them from number 3 because I think that they're still the 3rd best team, even though they lost to the 2 best teams.
Now, I will
agree.
say I moved Chicago to 1 and Atlanta to 2 because I think
I don't know how you did that when Atlanta slapped everybody last weekend.
they did slap.
They
but we
I feel
haven't
like
seen-
they slapped
we haven't
Dallas
seen
worse
them
than
against-
Chicago slapped Dallas.
All right,
we
all
haven't-
right, all right.
We haven't seen them against Chicago though.
All right, let's
And
just
I-
go
and I
into the
think
power
we-
rankings.
I think that's
I
what
think-
we basically started.
Yeah, I think between that, Atlanta could, or Chicago could beat Atlanta
Right.
if they were to face off. So that's why I have Chicago up 1 up.
I mean, here,
All right.
we can just keep going down. So, like, we've gone through, like, our first 3 right now. Who do you have at number 11, Zarin?
Number 11, I have the Subliners who dropped 6 spots.
Right.
They were probably easily they could be flipped with Optic for the absolute worst team last weekend.
Right.
But I think even before that they just weren't really considered a
Well, I mean,
like
I
top 5.
are you talking about New York?
New York.
Yeah.
I
See, I had
them-
New York at number 4 last week. I don't know fucking why. I thought they were going to be a
5.
lot. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. Same with Optic. I had Optic at number 4 or number 5 last week. I thought they were going to be a lot better too. And
Yeah, I had New York and Optic 5-6.
yeah, so I don't know. And like I get your argument with Seattle, and I think that they will be a lot better later in the game. I just think right now they're the worst team. I think.
Oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, I think we'll find out this weekend if New York plays Seattle. We'll find out who the worst team is.
No,
No. New York plays Seattle. New York's getting.
I think New York will beat Seattle if New York plays Seattle.
Wow.
I don't know. Enable's still nasty. So I think
It's
him.
not-
That's the comment you're gonna put on this. Is a navel is still nasty.
Gee, thanks for the input, bro.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I'm letting you guys go.
me and Zarin are hashing out. James is over here. He's like,
Enable's still.
"Enable's
nasty.
still nasty, man." Like,
No, but I think him,
Dude, wait a second, guys. Wait.
wrong.
I think-
No.
I think-
Enable is still
think-
gross. Okay?
no, he's still missing a thumb, and I think he's nasty. But I think the combo between him and Karma, by the looks of it, is stronger than New York.
Isn't Octane on that team? And you're talking about how nasty Enable is.
Yeah,
Bro, they got karma. They got a
I think Octane is the best player on that team.
Slack. They got apathy, bro. Apathy.
Yeah.
Apathy's only good at the end of the game every year.
yeah,
Watch, he's gonna be the best player this weekend.
I think so.
I can't wait to watch them go 0-2 this weekend and just laugh at you.
Bro, they'll go 1-1. They're
I-
losing to Chicago. or sorry, Dallas, but they'll beat whoever else they play.
I mean, they don't play Dallas, I don't think, do
If
they?
yeah, they do. That's the first match. Seattle will lose, and then they'll beat Los Angeles.
Seattle? Oh, yeah. Wait, what am I saying?
They,
Yeah, my bad.
they-
Sorry.
Yeah, if they lose, they'll play LA.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think. I don't want to keep like arguing about it because it's just gonna look bad on us for just yelling at each other about this stupid shit. But like, I don't think Seattle's gonna be that good. Not until later in the game. I could definitely see them being a better team later in the game.
Yeah,
But-
well, that's incorrect.
But as of my power rankings right now, I got them at number 12, and that's just how it is.
big yikes. Okay, moving on.
Number 11 on your list. You said you had Optic, right? Or no, you had New York, right?
Yep.
I had Optic as well.
You have Optic. Okay, I have New York as well. They dropped 7 spots for me to number 11 on my list. Again, they went 0-2 last weekend. They didn't look impressive to me. I don't really have much to say about them, honestly.
No.
Except I think they looked better than
I
Seattle.
mean,
but
when you come in like a WWE wrestler and you're holding up a sign that says Slash is Optic, you should back it up. And they didn't. They didn't.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about Optic. Okay, Optic dropped 5 spots for me.
Yeah.
I got them at number 10. I don't think Optic looked very good at all either. They were
Yeah, I have
kind of
I have New York as number 10.
yeah. Who you guys have at number 9? That's
I have Seattle.
Fuck off.
Seattle's terrible.
Come on, dude. All right, I got Paris, but talking about Seattle once again.
You put Paris.
Hold up.
Yeah,
You
Paris-
got Paris at number 9.
Yeah,
I thought Paris looked really good last weekend. I got Toronto at number 9.
I thought they did too, but
Oh yeah, but don't worry, he's still got Seattle 0-2 in his top 5. But you know the 2-0 Paris he has at number 9.
doesn't mean they're the fucking
Interesting.
4th best team in the league.
Going by
is
actual
what I'm
stats
saying.
and how power rankings work.
We're not
yeah,
going
they
by
are.
actual stats. How did they look? How did they?
Okay, if we're going by how they look, Paris looks significantly better than Dallas or than fucking Seattle. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I guess Dallas too for that point, but like Paris, okay,
I'm
they're
making them.
they're
Oh.
not even close to a top 5 team. This team, they have so much more to prove. Just because you go 2-0 makes you number fucking 1, number 2.
I don't have him
three.
at number 2. I have him at number 4.
No, but it makes them better than 9.
And
They blow me
definitely
away.
definitely better than your number 5 ranked
Yeah,
Seattle.
puts them in a better
Who's
spot
0-2.
than 0-2.
They're not better than Seattle.
I bet you if those two
That's just
teams
a
played
fact.
last weekend, Paris would have beat them.
Yeah, but it's not last weekend.
So you think in 2 weeks, Seattle's going to be that much significantly better?
No, they already were better. They just had a bad event.
Okay, we'll see what happens. I think Paris is significantly better than Seattle. We won't. I don't even think we'll see it at this event. Hey, give me facts on why I'm wrong. Besides just so you're wrong. 0-2, 2-0. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's one event.
You're not wrong on that. But going as of right now, power rankings 0-2 versus 2-0. I'm putting the team 2-0 above the team that's 0-2. James.
I'm with
It doesn't
you.
make them a better team.
We're not,
In
we're
it.
not saying that they're a better team. Like if the season was over and stuff, and these were the rankings, we're not saying that they're a better team. We're saying as of right now, they are. Up until
I don't think
this
Zara
point-
knows how power rankings work, but
up until this point, they have shown that they're the better team.
which is how power
Now,
rankings
granted,
work.
that doesn't mean they literally are. That just means Paris is the one who showed up last week.
Seattle had a bad
Sea-
event. They're
Seattle
still a better
didn't.
team.
Right.
They
Okay.
didn't show up. Now,
Well,
granted,
if we're just gonna do that, sorry, but like if we're just gonna do that, then let's just put all the 2-0 teams at the top, and then the 1-1 teams in the middle. Then the 0.
I mean
Bottom.
that's not how I did it, but
Yeah, what the? Yeah, exactly.
For the
So what
most
fuck
part,
are
that's
they
how
saying
I
for
d-
Dallas. Like I don't understand.
so Dallas is third because Dallas played the best 2 teams and is still arguably the best.
So what? They still got shit on.
Oh my
They
god!
played one map.
I actually want to kick you from the call right now. You're so annoying.
Bro. Oh my god, dude. You just contradicted yourself.
No, I
Dallas-
did. No, look, Look, I have points though on why Dallas is up there. Yes, Dallas went 0-2. They played the best 2 teams and lost. That doesn't mean that they are bad. Oh my god.
Seattle won more than one map.
Yes,
And then
but so look at the team Seattle played though.
who did they play?
They
Tell
did.
me, please.
They lost to. Oh my god, bro! Don't make me pull it up.
Pull it up.
I don't remember.
So how about that Super Bowl?
Oh,
All right.
I'm so annoyed.
Number 8, I have Florida.
I also have Florida at number 8.
Oh, look, that's
High
improvement.
fives.
We're agreed.
Yeah.
I have the Gorillas as number 8.
Oh man, you guys are gonna hate me.
I have see. I mean, you know what? I think the Gorillas should have went 0-2 last week, so I'm not going to completely argue with what you're about to say on them. I also have the Gorillas at number 7, so I mean, I don't have them much higher, but they definitely should have gone 2-0 last weekend. They got kind of ripped off in that Minnesota match.
I'm gonna wait to announce my Gorillas pick.
Yeah, no, we
Oh,
definitely
okay.
should. I'm trying to. I can't even pull up who they played last weekend.
Florida was impressive-ish to me.
I have them at 7.
So I'm guessing you have Minnesota at 8.
Seattle lost. Where were the Mutineers last?
Oh.
Where were the
I said I had the
Mutineers?
Gorillas at 8.
One second, I'm just wondering something. Where were the Mutineers last week in your power rankings?
10.
And they lost to the Mutineers 3-2.
Wait. Whoa. What?
So Seattle lost to the Mutineers
Seattle.
3-2, and they were at number 10 in your power rankings last week.
No, sorry. Florida was number 10. Seattle was number 2.
And Seattle, and then the Surge also lost 3-2 to Toronto, who I think is significantly worse of a team than Seattle.
Hey, but they're 1-1, so that puts them at what?
Right. Well, I have Toronto at number 9 in my power rankings. I'm so happy your mic just cut out. But yeah, I don't know. I could like. I understand why you're saying that I'm contradicting myself with having Dallas high.
Because you are.
But it makes sense though because they did play the best two teams.
Okay.
And
But what if
you're telling me that okay, where's Empire on your list?
3?
Okay.
What if New York played the 2 best teams? What if they played Chicago and
If
would they
if New
would
York
they still be number 5 on your list?
I feel like I would still have them high. Yeah, probably.
Bullshit.
I mean, just because they lost to the two best teams. If they played them close too, like every map that Dallas played, except for I think the search against Atlanta, and like
Because
I'm trying to think of what maps they won. They beat Huntsman in the search, right? They lost the first they lost the first hard point pretty close. The only map they really got blown out in was the last hard point to Chicago. Dallas got blown out in one map. That was the only map I saw them get blown out in. They got slapped by FaZe though. They did. They got slapped by FaZe.
I can guarantee right now that if Paris played Chicago and Atlanta and got 3-0'd both series, they would still be number 12 on your list.
Oh yeah, they would be. Wait, what did I thought you asked if New York?
I did, but
Yeah.
now I'm asking about Paris.
So because of
Okay.
how low I had Paris last week, and if they went 0-2 and got 0-6, yes, they'd be number 12 on my list right now.
How many spots did Dallas drop for you?
Dallas didn't drop. I had them 3, and they are still 3.
So they didn't drop at all
Right, because
they played the 2 best teams.
they're still a good team.
And Paris, if they lost to those 2 teams and got smoked, they would be
Because I had them at number 12, yes. I wouldn't have dropped them.
But
You couldn't go much lower from 12 to 12, Zarin. You want me to
this
put
is
them
true.
in negative?
okay. So I'll go back to so if New
I had
York got
zero
number-
expectations for Paris last weekend.
Okay. How about New York? New York, you had number 5.
I had New
Where
York
would
at
they,
I had
where
New,
would they be if
I
they
had
lost
New
to-
York at number 4. If they got beat by both of them, I'd probably put them to like 7th. And right now I have them at number 11 because of how bad they looked. But I mean that didn't happen, so you're just kind of pulling at straws and
No, I think you're full of shit.
I get what both of you guys are saying. I'm dead smack in the middle. I get it that losing to the top 2 teams or even the top 3 teams, you give them a little more leeway. All right, they lost to obviously the best, but also I'm kind of with Zarin. Like, it was the first event.
No, and I agree with that too. I'm just making my
No.
power rankings going off of the first event. That's all I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to like if you want me to, I will move Dallas down, but like I don't think they deserve to be moved down. I feel like Seattle deserved to be moved down because of who they lost to. They lost to Florida and Toronto.
I mean, I had Dallas number 1 going to last week, and they are number 4 on my power rankings now. Like,
Anyway, I feel like we should move on from this. Otherwise, we're just going to keep arguing about this. So, I had at number 7, I had the Gorillas.
I had the Mutineers.
I had Minnesota.
interesting. I don't know how we can even continue talking about like each team individually, but I had Gorillas there. I feel like I should actually have the Gorillas higher now that I'm really looking at this because they really should have went 2-0 last weekend, but they kind of got ripped off. That's all I'm going to say about them.
Well, they got ripped off one series.
Yeah, well, and they won the other one.
Oh, did they go in one?
Yeah, they went 1-1.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's why I'm
right.
saying they should have gone 2-0.
Right, I forgot. Minnesota.
Where do you have LA, James?
I have LA as 8.
Wow.
Where do you have them?
4.
I mean, I can't totally hate on that, but like I don't understand how you have them.
I'm a little biased. I don't like Aches. Not like I don't.
Oh yeah,
I
mean, Zaren's on
feel
Aches'
for him.
cock,
I
so
don't feel for him like I dislike Temp.
oh
But still, like I think, like I said earlier, like I think Aches has to be firing on all cylinders 100% of the time for them to move up.
what's your reasoning for having them at 4?
Well, okay. I like eggs, and you guys don't because you're stupid fanboy. Say I'm right.
I didn't like him before I even knew who Optic was.
He's a top 5 player of all time.
I'm actually a Huntsman fanboy.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any means.
Oh yeah, I don't. I was cheering for
That's what
Aches
I'm
to
saying.
win World War II champs as well. So
That's why
I don't
what I'm
hate
saying.
Aches.
He's the only one. That's why I'm saying he's the one who would have to put the Gorillas on.
I feel like any team that
Because I
Aches
think
is
he's
on, he
good.
has to play to his best ability for them to win every time.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally think he's able to do that.
Yeah, my reasoning basically the first series they looked super strong and they looked like they were just flat out the better team. They were way better than Minnesota, and Minnesota caught a lucky break,
Yeah.
and it just kind of deflated
Yeah.
LA.
So that
And
that's
even-
why I can't disagree with you having them up that high.
Yeah.
First series of the new league.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta-
even
you gotta
still, when they lost the next 3 games or whatever, LA still only lost, not by very much.
They didn't get
Yeah.
Even with all the momentum, Minnesota, LA still hung in there and really competed. And their second series, they just looked like a really, really strong team. They looked like a top 5 team, and they were the biggest surprise of the weekend to me.
I think I
That
have
was the
them
biggest
lower.
surprise over Paris.
Well,
I
okay,
don't even mean to be an ass to you and
No,
keep
I-
calling you
I
out,
agree.
but
I
like
would give
Paris,
second
bro,
Vegas.
was
second Vegas. Let's call it second.
they were definitely a surprise to me. I had them. I had Paris and Gorillas 12 and 11 last week, and so I've got Gorillas up to 7. They moved up 4 spots for me. So,
Yeah.
They moved up 5 for me.
where do you guys have London at now? I put London up 1 from 7 to 6. They did look good, but they also looked really, really bad as well.
I got him at 6.
I have them at 6 as well. They dropped 3 spots.
Okay, so mine moved up 1 to 6, but that's just because I had the guys that were in 4, 5, 6 all drop to 10, 11, 12 for me, right? So
Yeah, we won't talk about number 12 again.
no, we're just gonna not talk about that again.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so London, I feel like they looked really good. Like they went 3-3 map count on the week because they 3-0'd New York and they got 3-0'd by Paris, right?
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I feel like London is a lot better of a team than they showed.
For sure.
And I feel like they definitely should have beat Paris. So I don't understand how Paris won that match. But
They kind of flipped weird.
Yeah.
it's
Sorry, James.
that's
No,
just
that
weird. It was that was probably my biggest surprise of the weekend was Paris beating London 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 3-2 London. Honestly, like I thought it was going to be close, but I didn't expect Paris to win.
I think I called a 3-0 London on the last podcast over them, and
Yeah.
it was the opposite way. But I don't know.
Yeah, I had Paris going 0-2 that weekend, so I was very wrong.
Who,
As for most people.
yeah, I think everybody was. That was a big surprise. Who do you guys have at number 5?
I have Seattle.
Right, we talked about that. We're not going to talk about that again. Minnesota, I have at number 5.
Same. I have Minnesota 5.
Now,
Minnesota, I have number 7.
I only have Minnesota at number 5 because of how I was doing the power rankings and going 2-0. I don't think they're that good. They definitely should have went 1-1. They should be lower on my power rankings, and the Gorillas should be higher than them. But it was just kind of like how it kind of went, right? Like just of how
They basically had to be put somewhere, but
yeah
they weren't the worst.
no, and they basically won their match because uh they basically only won their match because of the
The forfeit.
the forfeit. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And then they beat Toronto, and like I said, I don't think Toronto's all that good of a team. So
Yeah. Minnesota just moved up one spot for me. They were 8 week 1. Now they're 7. Minnesota was, they weren't like blow me away, but they also weren't terrible. They were exactly what, like Jesse said, what we expected. Just kind of be
in the middle of the pack team. That's all I see them.
right in the middle. That's where they are. That's where they should be. Not much else on it.
Who'd you guys have for number 4 though?
I had Paris jump 8 spots from number 12 to number 4.
Okay.
And that's because they went 2-0. And if you can't tell me Paris looked really good last weekend, like last weekend, if they had like an event like where they would have finished, they would have finished probably top 4 at that event.
Wait, who did Paris play?
Paris beat
It was London and
Optic 3-2, and then they beat the Ravens 3-0. 2 teams that I had in my top 5. Right? So if they would have I didn't have them both in my top 5. I had London number 7 last week. But if what was I going to say? I think that if that was like a tournament, I feel like with how good Paris is playing, they would have been a top 4 at that event. And that's why I justify putting them in my top 4 in my power rankings.
Makes sense.
They looked good. That's just how I feel. And that's also why I said I put the other team so low, because they did that bad. And like I feel like if it was an event, they would have finished top 12, top 10, right? Like that's why I did it like that. So
Who'd you have it for, Zane?
4. I had the LA Gorillas.
Oh right.
Paris. I had number 9. They moved up from 12 to 9.
All right. So
who's your number 4?
I got Dallas as number 4.
Okay. I mean, I can't hate. I have Dallas 3, but
Which out of process of elimination, that means I have Paris at 3.
which I also don't completely disagree with. I mean, they went 2-0.
Man.
They went 2-0 and Dallas went 0-2. So
Doesn't mean they're the best team.
Nope.
But
I'm not-
how
I'm not
power
saying-
rankings work though.
But I'm also doing
No,
it. I'm
what
also doing
fucking
it
power
based
rankings do you watch? Best
off-
team.
I'm
It
also
ain't.
doing
It ain't
based off-
fucking Paris. They ain't number.
Let James speak.
I'm basically just going off of them coming out of nowhere, and not really people knowing anything about kind of where they were standing before that weekend. And considering they came out and won 2-0 when I personally had them at 0-2,
Right.
and the fire that was lit under Kismet's ass, I think they're scary. I don't
Right.
think they're Atlanta scary. I don't think they're
No, I definitely
Yeah,
like.
nothing
I
like that.
I think that they
But I
will
think-
finish the year on a middle of the pack team. But as of right now, I think they're a top 4 team.
Yeah, I feel like they're like Optic, like OG Optic, in Black Ops 4. They come out, they surprise people first event, maybe second.
Optic
but then other than
surprised
that,
people?
they surprised me. Like they went 2-0 when I thought they were 0-2 last week. I think they're going to do well this weekend.
I'm
but then I
confused
think
as to what you kind of lost me. You were talking
That's what
about
I'm
like
saying.
Black Ops 4 Optic, and then you're talking about last week's Optic going 0-2. I don't know.
No, not last week's Optic. I was saying I'm thinking of Paris as Optic in BO4.
Oh, okay.
They came out, did well the first event, and then I think they're going to do well the second event. But I think the lower tier teams, or on my ranking, are going to creep up, and Paris is just going to kind of stay.
I
stagnant.
feel Paris will probably
That's
continue to fall on my list.
Yeah,
But
I
as
think
of right
they're
now,
just
they
gonna
look
stay
like a
there
top
and
4
get-
team.
Well,
gets
this is
surprised.
why I put them. I didn't put them that high because if they're gonna fall, then they shouldn't be.
But
a top
power
3 team.
rankings change week to week, right? That's why I have
Yeah,
them
I'm
so high
aware of
right
that.
now.
But like you put them so high, believing that they're gonna.
But they're gonna fall. That's not even a thought in my mind that they're gonna fall. But like,
So right
But-
now, James is telling me that Paris is better than Dallas, LA, Seattle, Minnesota. That's not.
wait,
I think-
sorry, wait, what's that?
I don't want to say without a doubt, but I definitely think I don't. It's not like I see next week. I don't see Paris getting surpassed by Seattle. I don't see that happening. But I'm saying, as of right now, if Dallas doesn't fix what they need to fix, Paris is still going to be the better team.
So the reason I have Paris,
Wow.
I think the reason I have Paris under Dallas because I don't think that Paris can beat Dallas, Chicago, or Atlanta. That's just personal opinion. Now, what were the teams that you said, Zarin?
Well, James thinks that Paris is better than Dallas, Gorillas, Seattle, London, and Minnesota and Florida.
So as of
Yes.
as of right now, I definitely think Paris is better than London. They 3-0'd them last week. Gorillas, that would be a toss up for me. I think that Paris could win that match.
I think
Depending
that
on
would just, yeah,
that would be kind of like a coin flip. Whoever's just playing better on the day, and I feel like that's how most of the matches are, honestly, in this league because of how high the competition is. But that's why I got Paris so high, is because Paris did look good last week.
yeah. Mine might be some damage control considering I think I had him last.
Yeah, I had him
Yeah,
last
number
as well.
12 last week?
Yeah,
So considering how
I think we
wrong
all had
I
him at
was-
number 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering how wrong I was, I think, like I'm not saying or hoping that they do drop off, right? But I am saying it is like kind of Dallas should have at least won a series, but they didn't. And if they don't fix that, and if they don't get out of their heads like I think they are, and I think Paris is still gonna.
I still don't see
Have a
Paris
better
beating
record now.
Dallas.
No,
But
I don't see them beating them, but I see them having a better record
right.
than Dallas. So,
Amazing. Just
well, who do you guys have for number?
Clearly we think very different on power rankings there, and it'll be interesting to see how everything does play out. But I'm not going to call you an idiot like you called me an idiot, but I definitely think like there's room to improve on your power rankings for sure.
I don't think you're an
you
idiot,
literally
but don't worry, you'll get better.
You vaguely called me an idiot.
Well, I wasn't gonna, like I said, I was not going to call you an idiot. Number 3 on your list, I got. Number 3. I have Dallas. We were just talking number 4. Who do you guys have number 3?
No, we were talking number 3.
Yeah, I said I had Paris as number 3.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So number 2, I have Chicago still on number 2.
I have Atlanta as number 2.
Now,
I have
the
Chicago.
the reason I didn't have Chicago bump up over Atlanta is because I went off of both teams playing Dallas, and Atlanta looked significantly better against
That's true.
Dallas than Chicago did.
Grant,
That's
did you say you had Chicago number 2 also?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay.
what were your reasons for Chicago over under Atlanta?
Phew. Chicago's been like solid pretty much all year.
I actually,
I
sorry,
know.
I just had one more question for you, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off. Where did you have Atlanta last week? Because I remember having an argument with you last week and telling you Atlanta was the top team.
I think
I
I
had
had
it.
10.
You had them at number 10?
I think so.
Not
no,
Atlanta.
No, not 10. No, not Atlanta.
I think you had London at number 10 last week.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I had London down there.
But,
I had Atlanta number 7.
right, and they've moved up 6 to number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead and talk about why you have Chicago under Atlanta. But
Well, obviously Chicago's expected to be good. Pretty much everybody put them at 1 or 2.
right,
I don't think that was kind of a surprise to anyone that they played well last weekend. But again, I'm not going just based off of last weekend. It
Right.
helps. It helps a lot towards the power ranking, but not all of it.
which I agree
Scrims
with.
yeah, and it's hard to kind of.
Which is why I still have Dallas in my top 3 because you can't
Yeah.
not have them up there with it. Who's on that team and how well they played before the first event.
Yeah, but that's my reasoning with Paris. But anyways, Chicago, again, was expected to do well at the tournament, and they didn't really surprise me. They didn't blow me away, to be honest.
Mhm.
It was awesome to see the hype. It was awesome to see how good they were together.
But it
But
wasn't
they-
a nail biter.
It was
Exactly.
honestly just what I'm interested in seeing in Chicago is to see how they play under adversity and coming back from being like down 0-2 in a series. That's what I'm
Yeah.
interested to see
Yeah.
with them. Is because
I-
if you can see them bounce back from that, that's when you know that team is solid.
I think that RCDs and Gunless definitely probably have, and Scump probably have the coolest heads under pressure. I mean,
I think Formal too for sure. Formal looks
Well,
like he does
Formal-
not lose full ever.
right? That's true. So I think Envoy will be the one to watch. But like, I mean, if you think about it, even though it was a couple years ago in 2017 in IW, Gunless and RCD's team together, and they beat like the Dynasty in 2 best-of-5s to come back and win CWL Atlanta. Like, so I think pressure wouldn't be a problem for them, but I think Envoy would struggle, and I think Formal's good, but you never see, at least I don't remember ever seeing it. If Formal's struggling early on, you don't ever see him make some huge 180 and come back and be the Formal that we expect.
Really?
So
Yeah.
I think if he's struggling,
I'm actually
earlier on-
surprised to hear you say that because like I remember watching IW, I could watch that guy start a map like like 3-12 and finish the map double positive 40-20. Like
Right, yeah, that definitely that was an IW though.
that's true. He was the best player in IW.
I don't want to say, yeah, I don't want to say. I'm not saying by any means that Formal's dropped off or anything like that. But I think over the past couple games,
I just think he hasn't been on a
he's
good team in the last couple games.
yeah, I think still though, I think he's just.
I don't think he's okay. He has not been on a team as good as the Optic Dynasty in the last couple games. Let me correct myself.
Nobody has been on it
Yeah,
Right.
except for Aches and TP. Because that team is better than the OG Dynasty.
This is a different topic.
So
I'm not
power
talking.
rating.
Yeah. Well, I'm not,
so you guys have Chicago at 2.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I have Atlanta
I
at
have them
number
as
1.
I just maybe it's a little bit of being an OG Optic fanboy, but I think it would be a super close
definitely
series
that.
between Atlanta and Chicago. No, but I also see I was kind of wrong last week a little bit, but I still think of Atlanta as too young of a team to where if they don't win map 1 against Chicago, I don't see them taking the series. Like
I just
so I see
honestly, both those teams are so stacked and very, very good that I could see whatever happen. Like, I thought Major Maniac was going to be like the really weak player in Atlanta, and he looked really good too. So,
Yeah.
but it's
I
also
think
hard not to look good when you're surrounded by that much talent.
right, and I'm thinking if or when they do go head to head, if Chicago loses first map, I have more faith in them to kind of rally together and come back rather than FaZe losing map 1 against Chicago. I feel like if
Right.
they lose map 1, they might still go full series, but I see Chicago taking it out. Granted, we haven't seen that yet, but that's what I think, and that's why I have Chicago at number 1.
Right. I just wanted to ask Zarin a question really quick. So you were saying how Atlanta and Chicago, you'd be interested to see the matchup. Zarin, how do you feel about Atlanta and Chicago not being in each other's group for any event this year? Did you hear about that?
I did.
Do you think it's a fluke or do you think it was on purpose? I 100% think it was on purpose.
I gotta think so too. Like that just doesn't happen. There's how many events? 12?
I think so, yeah. There's enough for
Yeah.
every team to have a home event and then champs
Yeah.
and playoffs.
So 12 events and not one of them got not one event are they in the there's no way that just
Now,
the chances are just
in
insane.
my opinion, in terms of viewership, it makes sense. Because it is the first season. I understand, like, competition-wise, it is not fair at all. And I won't say anything about that. I think it's not fair. But in terms of viewership-wise, and, like, it being the inaugural season and them trying to make, like, a good name for themselves off of this and trying to show people that this brand can grow, having the two biggest brands only ever playing each other in, like, a grand finals is probably your best situation. Or having them consistently go throughout the tournaments, right? You know what I mean? Because if one team is playing and then they play again later, like, it's good, but it's like I also get the other side of it where it's like that is not fair at all to not ever have them play against each other. But at the same time, if you're like Aches, who was the guy complaining about it, just beat them. Just beat them then.
I'm just gonna say this right now, and probably not many people think this, but Optic and FaZe has never been a rival for me.
Well, I'm saying
Like I never saw the appeal, like Optic, assuming they're Chicago, like
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying rivalry wise. I'm just saying like fan base wise
Like
Well,
size.
well,
and
but
like
people-
viewership wise.
I see that point, but like everybody on fucking planet Earth in the COD community says Optic and FaZe is the biggest rivalry in
I
COD.
disagree. It's Optic and Envy. It always has been.
I also disagree with that. I don't think there's a
Well,
fucking rivalry.
Being someone who came in after you guys, I always saw it as Optic and FaZe, and that's because I think kind of like Zaren's point, competition wise, they've never really been rivals. It's just their fan base. It's just two biggest teams.
Wait, who do you
They
think
just-
is the biggest rivalry then, Zaren? Is it just Optic and Aches? Is that it, or
Yes.
okay? I agree.
And-
I mean, I can agree with that, but I think Optic and Envy definitely were like the biggest team. Like if you're playing team and team, it's the it's like always. Right?
Maybe early in the early COD.
Well, I mean,
Envy has been fucking absent the last two.
Well, I mean, BO3 Envy beat them in champs, so like up all the way until IW, all the way up until IW. Optic never beat Envy in a champs, until IW Grand Finals. That was the
Yeah,
only time. So that's why, right? So I don't know.
yeah. And again, I
But
hate
again, that
bringing
was
up-
also 2 games ago, though, right? So
And
I
technically,
do
that
see what
still
you mean.
boils down though to it being Chicago versus Dallas. 'Cause, you know,
and
everyone
and,
knows
and
Dallas.
again, this is the rivalry that people are looking at.
Right.
It's going to be Dallas or Chicago
For sure, right now.
because Crim hates Scump or Scum hates fucking Clayster, whoever it
Yeah,
is. Like,
whatever it is.
But it is
It,
very
like-
weird that Atlanta and Chicago didn't get put in
yeah,
the same thing.
it's always been and always will be. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's always going to be until Aches retires.
But I guarantee you, more people will tune in to watch Optic versus FaZe than they will to tune in to watch Optic versus or to watch Chicago versus Aches,
That's exactly how it's going to happen.
which is why they
only
made the schedule like that.
Yeah, but the hardcore fans are going to appreciate the Aches versus Gomp and the Aches
Yeah.
versus Full.
For sure.
The casual viewer is gonna think.
Yeah. Oh my God, FaZe and Optic.
But not everybody's the
FaZe.
casual viewer, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm agreeing with both.
So,
you guys. And then people
yeah.
like us who obviously know where the teams have been are gonna think Aches versus Chicago or Dallas versus Chicago. We're not. I don't want to say I'm not gonna think twice about Atlanta versus Chicago because I think it would be, if it ever did happen, it would be a good series.
Oh, for sure.
But people like us are just gonna think, kind of comparing it to the past.
I feel like I feel like
the old
Chicago
guys.
and Dallas will have a bigger rivalry than Chicago and Atlanta, but I think Chicago and
For
Atlanta will have amazing matches against each other this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it won't really
And-
be like a rivalry, like jumping up, like get out of here, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just not going to happen.
It's kind of I agree with that.
Yeah, just to talk about Atlanta, because they're my number one, they're Jesse's number one. The biggest thing for me with Atlanta, like, yeah, they moved up 6 spots, and I know I said before one event, but I said this 2 weeks ago in the first episode. Why I put Atlanta at 7 is because I was like worried for them how their ARs are going to play, because looking at last year, Major Maniac occasionally ran ICR. Celium was a Maddox and Priesta was all Maddox.
I think
But-
Priesta in games past was an AR, wasn't he, before last year? Because didn't he switch from the AR to a sub when he moved to 100 Thieves?
He might have. I wasn't really.
I know you didn't really
watch
follow
much
him
of
too much.
World War II.
Right, yeah. He was kind of, because remember,
Um,
he was kind of the surprise last year when FaZe picked him up. They were like, what? Why are you picking up this guy? And it turned out he was a beast.
Yeah, so I was. That was my big concern for Atlanta. That's why I had them. I knew the talent they had on the team. Probably, arguably, the best in the league. Best individual talent, each player. Probably the best in the league. But the biggest thing was, how are their 2 or 3 ARs going to play? And 90% of why I have them at instead of number 7 is not only did they just destroy everybody they played, everybody on the team played amazing in their role, and that's 90% is a surprise factor of how well they mesh together.
Right.
That's why I have them at number 1.
I think the main reason I have them at number 1 over Chicago is, as much as people don't really say this, I think S&D does win championships. I know a lot of people disagree with that statement because it is 3 respawns. But when you go 12-0 round count in S&D, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
Like, if you can't beat a team in S&D, and that team can easily win a respawn, that team is scary. That's why I have them at number 1.
for sure.
That makes sense.
It's gonna be interesting how they do in Atlanta.
Yeah, they play
is
they play the third event.
Yeah, if they, I expect them to be impressive again at S&D. But if they keep destroying teams in S&D, then I'll believe that they're probably the better teams in the league. I think they already are, but the potential of
They'll
them
prove it to
staying
you,
in the
basically,
top
right?
3, yeah, exactly. They have a lot more to prove, I think.
See, and that's that's
the scary
exactly
thing.
why I moved Paris up too, because I'm like, they looked really good, all of them in all their roles, and like whether they drop down or not is on whether they can prove that they can stay in that number 4 spot, and that's why I did my power rankings like that.
Yeah,
That's the scary thing I think about Atlanta is like they not that they necessarily have to prove themselves, but they do have, as a team of 5, they have a lot to prove, but they also kind of have, in my opinion, they don't really have much to lose. It's not like
Yeah.
you have a team of legends. You have a lot of young
Exactly.
people, so they can kind of go balls to the wall.
I mean, they also have 2 defending
Cracked.
champs on their team too now,
yeah.
Right.
in the
Well,
Tiny
Let's-
Tears.
Let's remember, there's 2 20-year-olds
Your mic cut out. I didn't hear you.
There's like we got to remember that there's, you know, two 20-year-olds, two 19-year-olds.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
That might come. That might come into like effect eventually too.
How are they going to perform at champs with such a young team? Because
So that's what I have. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just wanted to say, like, Simp and Abizi had Clayster and Arcides to kind of keep things settled and just keep them calm, like during those big matches.
And they had their what's his name as coach. What's his name? I can't remember his name now. I mean, Atlanta has Crowder as their coach. That could be a big help as well.
Yeah, but in game, you know.
Oh, they had
Atlanta
Vicento last
down,
year. Sorry, I was trying to think of the name.
And Saint before. What happens at COD Champs winners semifinals when they're down 2-0 to Dallas? Who's like, coaches can't talk in game.
I mean, there's a break after 2 maps though, so they can talk to their coach.
But still, like,
and also, coaches do take the headset and talk to the players. I don't know if you see that.
I'm talking like, okay, let's say in the middle of the map.
He's talking about not like CS:GO or something where they're like in constant communication.
Yeah. So like in a map, say they're, you know, 20 in a dom. Like, who's gonna be that guy on the team that's gonna say, all right, guys, like, let's settle down. Let's wait for each other. Now let's push. Like, who's going to be that guy for that?
It's a good question.
That's why I had last week. That's why I had Atlanta further down on my power rankings, because I thought if it did come down to it, experience was going to top, you know, being cracked.
Yeah.
That's why I have Chicago.
No, I agree with that as well. That will be a big thing to see. But I also think that throughout the year, I think that they will get a lot better with like what's the word? Like with like
their nerves and stuff.
Yeah, that, and I'm sure somebody will eventually, by like mid-year or by end of the year, somebody's going to end up stepping up into that captain role. I'm sure somebody already has, but we just don't see it.
In the inaugural event, everyone wants to come out swinging. FaZe played out of their mind, and they were hyped. Like, that's going to carry them a long way, but they haven't been hyped in a Game 5 round 11.
Right.
Or on the brink of getting 3-0'd and having to reverse sweep. They haven't had to deal with.
You know what this team kind of reminds me of? This team kind of reminds me of the United team that won
from 2017.
That won Atlanta in 2017. Yeah. Just because that team was all rookies except for Silly.
Arcides, Gunless, and all them. It was their first year, really. I mean, they tried earlier and they like did open bracket and stuff.
Like top 64s, and then that was the first year that they were actually a decent team. Yeah.
But no one knew who they were. They kind of had nothing to lose. Like, obviously they have some people who've been in the league for a year or two.
Right.
But they didn't really have to worry about, you know, being formal and getting 3-0'd or getting embarrassed. It's kind of like, if they lost, it was like, well, the young team lost. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's kind of how it is right now with them as well.
I like that. That's a very good point.
But granted,
okay.
if they go into the next game, you still have nothing to lose.
I feel like we are kind of dragging this out right now. I don't mean to cut off our conversation, but I do want to get on to the last thing I want to talk about. But go ahead, Zarin.
Okay, just before we get to the last thing, winner of the event and biggest disappointment of the event.
Oh, and are we doing guarantee of the event again? Do you want to do that?
Yes, we can do that too.
Okay.
Guarantee, biggest disappointment,
and then winner. Okay. Yeah. Guarantee of the event.
Let's get a little
crazy.
Okay,
crazy,
my guarantee of the event.
Bold prediction, bold guarantee.
Okay, my guarantee of the event
yeah.
is I have 2. Seattle's going to go 0-2. And it's going to be a Chicago and Ravens final. That's my guarantee of the event. I feel like that's decently crazy. Yeah. I feel like that's going to be the finals of the event, and that Seattle's going 0-2. That's my guarantee of the event.
Zarin.
I was expecting you to go second. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
I guarantee New York's going to go 0-2. Like hands down.
Okay.
Well, I initially was going to say that Seattle was going to go. No, I'm not gonna say it.
You're gonna trigger the offer, but see Zarin's eyes start twitching.
Not get triggered. I was gonna make the bold guarantee that they were gonna come out of nowhere and take it against Dallas. But I think even for me, that's too bold. I don't see that happening. But Well, I'll change. My guarantee is Chicago's gonna win. Um, but I think Seattle is gonna surprise us and at least take one series. That's what I'm gonna say. And then finals, I think it's gonna be. I kind of see Chicago and Paris.
And who do you think's winning? Oh, actually, no, we're not doing that yet. Go ahead, Zane.
Oh, well.
This, sorry.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Guaranteed. I'm still thinking about it. This is tough. I didn't have a problem last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, your guarantee was.
Yeah, I
Paris is
guarantee
going
Paris is going undefeated in SND.
Ooh, this is crazy. I guarantee Paris doesn't make it out of groups.
That's not crazy.
What?
I mean,
But the way you've been talking them up.
no. But
I
like,
think it's gonna
look, they are a very, very good team. But with how all the teams are in this league and what the groups are, right? Like that's. I mean, actually, no, that is crazy. I just looked at the group again.
Fuck you! I'm changing my answer.
I just looked at the groups again. That is crazy. Never mind. You're good. That is crazy. Paris and London are making it up.
I'm changing. I think.
They can't beat Toronto and New York. They got some.
Especially after 3. I mean, they might even beat London. They 3-0'd them at the last event.
No.
Yeah, I guarantee Paris doesn't make
All
it
right,
out of groups.
that's an interesting guarantee.
Who do you see in the finals or grand finals?
Grand finals.
But wait,
Dallas.
wait. But do Paris stay undefeated at search in your mind?
Well, they can't stay undefeated.
No. In his mind, that's what I'm saying.
Like, okay.
No, Paris loses both searches. Guarantee.
Big change from last week. What happened?
That's my guarantee. Screw Paris getting out of group. They lose both searches.
All right.
Guaranteed.
And who's your finals?
Finals. Whoa. Okay.
Watch, right? My dude's gonna be like Seattle and
Seattle
London.
and Dallas. No,
Seattle.
that's not possible.
No, it's not possible.
Ooh, lucky. Shit.
Wait, who do you think's so?
Can I take back my guarantee?
I just want to know something. So I know, like, you think Seattle is your top 5. Do you see them making it out over Chicago or Dallas?
Depends on what Seattle team we see.
Well, if they look anything like how they
This
looked
weekend-
last weekend.
This weekend I don't, but you always have a second chance. It's not really getting out of.
Wait, what? You always
So
have
like, what?
what were you saying? You always have a second chance for what? Your mic cut out.
Like once you hit lower bracket, you get
There
a
is
second
no lower bracket. It's
Yeah,
one
there
bracket.
is.
No, it's one bracket.
No, because if you're going,
It's one bracket.
if you lose 2, you're done. Right?
You lose 2 in the pools and you're done.
No, it's not pool.
Yes, it is. If you lose 2
No,
in
it's
pool,
not.
yes, it is, Zarin. That's how it works. There's only
Then
2
if I'm-
days. There's only 2 days. There's no lower bracket. It's like once you make it out of pools, then you play in that. There's no lower bracket after that.
Okay, wait. So Seattle loses.
So here, let me explain to you how it
Right.
works. Let me explain to you how it
So if
works.
Seattle
So-
I'm
and Los
asking.
Angeles
No,
lose-
I'm asking.
Okay.
Like, go ahead, James.
I was just
like-
gonna say if Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, if Seattle loses to Dallas and LA loses to Chicago, then they'll play.
Yeah,
Then they'll play each other.
exactly.
That's the lower bracket. is
That's what I
people Who
mean.
went 0-1?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm
Seattle-
I'm still confused as to what you're saying as
He's
a
not
lower
saying
bracket.
there's like a literal lower bracket. He's just saying the 2 teams who lose their first maps or their first series are gonna play each other, and when they play each other, that's the lower bracket.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
the winner
okay,
of
I
that
guess so.
plays the loser of, say, Dallas and Chicago.
Right, which it will be, right.
So that's what I mean.
And then
So-
whoever wins, so basically, then say like Dallas versus Seattle. Who do you think is winning that to make it into like to versus Chicago again?
Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas is gonna beat. Oh fuck.
I think.
It's just
I mean,
hard.
not my-
Damn it.
Yeah, it's
not
hard.
my turn, so
So yeah, Dallas and Chicago would play twice. There's a possibility of them playing twice.
They could play once and then they could play again in the winners final on
I
their
think
side.
Chicago beats them the first time. Dallas. They're gonna play. Shit. They're gonna play. I don't want to say London because they're gonna be my biggest disappointment of the tournament.
I thought Paris was your biggest disappointment.
No,
Well,
that's
that
not a
was
disappointment
Garrett.
if they lose because
Yeah.
Paris sucks. So
That was his guarantee.
Oh,
know what?
my bad.
New York.
You think New York is making the finals?
Yeah, I picked New York to beat Paris. Actually,
Where do you have New
New
York
York-
on your power rankings?
like 11.
And you think they're making? And you think they're making it to the finals of the tournament? This is why his power rankings don't mean anything.
They do. Okay, but like I told you, I think they're gonna bounce back, but they still I think are probably second worst team at this event.
I think Zara and I both kind of made our power rankings off of potential. It's like
Yeah, potential
these
and
players.
I literally
players
made my
could
power
be-
rankings off of how I think these teams are gonna do, and like
Okay.
off of how they did at the
But
last
that's why I have
event.
Seattle. That's why I have Seattle. I'm back and forth on them. It's like you think about it, yeah, with the Octane enable.
I mean, my power rankings at least contradict with how I'm calling the matches for this weekend.
But it's like that's what I'm like with Seattle back and forth. It's like they have potential if at least those superstars can carry that weight, then I think they'd be a great team and they'll put up a fighting chance. But yeah, if they played like they did last week, then they're one of the worst teams.
I also feel how
okay.
Zarin. I also feel how you feel though, like with like you're like kind of calling an upset, but like to call
this
your
is-
number 11 seed to make it to the finals of the event is just a little crazy.
This is crazy to me because like I'm in such a fucking mad shit about Paris, but I can see them making the final but getting absolutely obliterated by whoever they pick.
I agree with that as well.
So like I don't know who.
It's because
I don't
this
wanna-
it's because this group B is so fucking random. Like
I know.
who the like I could sit here and call fucking London and Paris till I'm blue in the face, but New York and Toronto could very easily make it out of this fucking group too.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm not gonna pick a finals. I'm not gonna pick a finals. I'm just gonna say Dallas.
Who
You're
would
saying-
you like to see? in the
You're saying Dallas to win the event?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to see Toronto, obviously.
I think whoever wins comes out of Group A is going to win the event, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think it's going to
Totally.
be Chicago that wins the event.
I agree with that.
Okay. Biggest disappointment.
These-
I already said mine.
I think-
London
This
is
point,
gonna
you
go.
mean
For me, my biggest disappointment is going to be Toronto going 0-2. Most likely, that's going to be my biggest
Are
disappointment.
they expected to do anything though? Is
No,
that
but,
really
but it's going to be a disappointment to me though because they're my fucking team.
when you say disappointment,
yes.
do you mean literal disappointment or do you mean like an upset? Who's gonna?
Well,
surprise?
kind of, yeah, kind of an
Because
upset. Like who's
I love Paris, but I kind of can see the subliners maybe coming out of nowhere. But
but you have
that-
Paris at number 3. Oh my god, you
no,
guys
I
kill
know,
me.
and that's why it would be an upset.
No,
It
for
wouldn't be
sure.
An upset if a team better
That's
than them
for
won.
sure.
It's only an upset if. a
I guess
worse
I
team-
guess you can call that as an upset.
So I think, I don't think it's gonna happen, but there's a chance, and I think that would be the biggest upset out of everyone here.
Right.
No matter
Yeah.
how you match up.
All right,
with
we
sorry,
go ahead.
just really quick. My biggest disappointment is going to be they're going to lose to Toronto, and then they're going to beat New York in the lower bracket.
Wait, who's this? Paris? I didn't
London.
Hear. Oh, okay, London. Okay.
They're going to lose to New York. Or
Okay.
sorry, beat New York. So they'll lose to Toronto, beat New York, and then lose to Paris to get eliminated.
Okay.
And they're not going to play well at all. But they'll beat New York.
All right.
Biggest disappointment.
All right. We are like running like very late on this. We are like an hour and 30 minutes in already. So let's just talk about this last one really quick. Do these tournaments count as majors? What are your opinions on it? Do you want me to say my opinion first? And then
Yeah,
you can
go
yell at me. I think that they count as majors only for one reason, or I guess for a couple of reasons, to be honest. The big point that a lot of people are making is that they shouldn't count as majors because all the teams aren't there. But at the same time, these are the only tournaments that we have this year besides champs and playoffs, right? And as well as those two being the only two majors this year, champs counts as like a ring, right? Like you count that as like, oh, like they have a ring. So playoffs will be the only major this year. And if that's the case, how the hell is anybody ever gonna catch Crim Six, right? And also back in the day, they used to count fucking online tournaments as majors, and look at the competition that people were playing then versus the competition that people are going to be playing at these events. You know what I mean? Like
My opinion is
so I think that these should count as majors. That's my opinion.
I don't think they should, mainly because, like you said, not everyone's there. You can't have a major, like a champion of a major, if they didn't get to play.
And I
every
just
single, or potential to play every team. But also, when it comes to the point about like how's anyone gonna catch Krim, they don't care about Krim. The CDL does not give a shit about what Krim Six has done, what his records are and stuff. So they're one, they wouldn't cater to it, and I bet it didn't even cross their mind to make it to where there would be potential for other people to come in and kind of almost replace him or fight for that
But
position.
this is
I
my
think-
my
I
only
think
thing
there
about
should
that
be-
though is like, why do you think like you said that you don't think that they care about Krim's records, right?
No.
I disagree with that because they were showing everybody's records when they were
Well, I'm not
introducing
saying-
everybody and stuff.
but
You know what I mean?
That's because he's LeBron James.
But right, but that's how you make
no.
story
I mean-
though. Stories though.
I mean logistically, they don't care about Krim enough to base how they run the season. They're not going to run it around someone being able to catch Krim.
I just
Yes,
feel like that's
they
how
know-
you make
they-
storylines and shit though, is by having people
Right,
break
but they're
records
not-
and doing shit like that.
But this is their first year. They're not good at that yet.
That's true.
They think FaZe and like we talked about earlier, they think FaZe and Chicago is the biggest rivalry when it's Dallas and Chicago. But I think the way they should have done it is every few weeks have a weekend where every team is there.
I agree.
Make that a major. So there's at least maybe
And then you have minors
2
and
or
majors.
3.
I feel you.
yeah.
But
I think
unfortunately, that's not how they're doing it. So that's why I think that these have to count as majors.
I think the era of majors is over,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna make a comparison. Bit of a weird comparison, but I think it's good. So in golf, there's 4 majors. There's the British Open, U.S. Open, PGA Championships, and the Masters.
Right.
And then there's
You just
a 5th
Googled
tournament. No, like I knew this before, but like I had to double check.
that.
what
I know.
one was called.
I was just laughing.
I know it was a PGA Championship.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, so there's a 5th tournament called the Players Championship, and it's not a major, but everybody calls it like pretty much a major.
So are these pretty much a major then?
Yeah, so I think all of these events are Players Championships. So
Yeah,
it's
that
like
makes sense.
it's like a major, but it's not a major.
It's not titled a major.
Do you think?
Exactly.
But so do you think the CDL is going to count these as majors though? That's what I wonder.
No,
No.
I don't see them doing that.
I think unless they were called majors, like and they were actively thinking about that when they came up with them, I don't think they would
So
look at him now.
do you
Yeah.
think this is the other point that that Maven made on his podcast was? Do you think that they should not wipe the record books? Like you still have like those records, but this is just a new era. You start counting stats as of now, like in this like new area of things, as
I think
opposed
so.
to
Yeah,
except for
it's
champ
new-
strings. I feel like champ strings should always be like you've won a world championship type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But like besides that, I kind of feel like they should just. It's either you count these as majors or you wipe it and you start everything over. That's my only
Yeah,
two things.
it's a new league. It's like if you
You have minors and majors. I think that's like the only way
if
that you can
wanna-
wipe it.
It's kind of like if you did really well in the D League, the NBA D League, and then eventually move up to the NBA, that record's not going to follow you. You're in a different.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna give another example that I think.
Your
so,
mic cut out. Your mic cut out.
Okay,
Think.
I'm gonna give another example that I think is really good. So, in the NFL or football, they have stats pre Super Bowl era and then Super Bowl era.
Oh yeah, okay. That'd be a good idea.
So that's I think is what here because most not okay. I shouldn't say that. For some stats they collect
Yeah.
versus pre Super Bowl they had 45 50 fell before the Super Bowl started.
right.
And they keep those stats separate for the most part. So I think that's what CDL is gonna kind of do.
That would
I hope they do.
that would be a good idea.
I hope it's new.
The only other thing that I would say on that, like if we're like bringing like kind of like sports analogy into it, is like going by like stats and records and stuff. Which I know, like you said, like they don't like James said they probably don't care about Krim's 32 championships or whatever the fuck he has. Right. My only thing is like if you look at it, like everybody looks at like Wayne Gretzky as like the greatest hockey player of all time. But like if Wayne Gretzky played now, it'd be totally different. I don't care what anybody says it would be. He's a good goal scorer. It would be different now. He would not have 150 goals in a season now.
Yeah.
No,
Like, look at
it's a
like
Right.
Larry Bird. Larry Bird wouldn't be Larry Bird if he was playing against LeBron James.
Yeah, it's a different era, so it's
Might as well
it's
start fresh.
it's a little tough with leagues like the NHL.
It would be nice if they start fresh. I doubt they do.
Yeah, there was never a separation with the NHL, NBA, MLB. The I think football is probably the best
Yeah.
example, even though it's not really separated for the most part. It is.
All right.
So I think that's exactly what's CDL. They're not gonna say Crim Six is a 0-time champion because he's won 32 events. They're
Right.
not gonna
They
forget
won't. They
that.
won't bring it up.
Do you
like,
wait? Do you
who's
think
coming
that
after
maybe
Crim's
they don't count it
Exactly.
Wait, maybe they don't count it as majors. Maybe they just say that he's won 32 events. Maybe they just have event wins now. That's a possibility too.
That's probably it because there was events like UGC Niagara that were that was a $10,000 tournament.
Right.
Or
I didn't even
UMG
think about that.
Nashville.
Right. I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that. Maybe they should just count it as events and then just have champs as champs.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best way to do it.
If they're gonna keep the stats from before, then I just call it events.
Event wins and then stats.
I don't think they really even call it majors. Just go, but Call of Duty, I don't know that.
Yeah, they were calling it I don't know when they just called them events usually for the
'cause
most part too.
I know events like UGC Niagara. There's Cole won both events.
Right.
Yeah.
They counted that towards everybody's win totals. So
Well, yeah, and
I don't think
like I said,
anything
they won online. They counted online events before as like major wins too. So
I don't think they'd ever call them a major game unless there was the normal brackets where every event or at a major there's
Right.
one winner.
right.
Not
Which
basically,
I can definitely see like later years from this one. Like they'll probably do like what they're doing right now, where they have these events, and then like doing like a CS:GO thing where they'll have like 4 majors a year, and then maybe they'll have champs as like their last major where you can win a ring or something. Or maybe they
I would
should
like that.
Or maybe what they should
Champs
do.
where you're the world champion.
Or what they should do is like how they always have playoffs and then they have champs, which makes absolutely no sense. What they should really do is they should have like they do these events, right? They have like their minors, then you have like your 4 majors, and then after all these little events, which are league matches realistically, let's be honest, they really are. You take your top 8 teams from these league matches events, put them in playoffs, and then have them play for the world championship there from a playoffs, like any other sport. That would make so much more sense. I don't understand why they've ever had a playoffs and then a world championship. That does not make sense to me.
They should really make it like playoffs event should really be bigger than champs. Think about
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like champs should be the playoffs.
it. Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know. I think honestly that's honestly we're running this like super long compared to what we wanted to. So I think we probably should cut this here. But you guys have anything else that you guys want to say?
I think it'll be a fun weekend of COD. I think it's a little unbalanced. Like it's like half and half. I don't think it's going to be every match is going to be a nail biter or even necessarily entertaining. But I think it'll still be a good weekend of COD.
I agree. One last thing for me. I'm not a stoner. This says smoke on the water. Okay. So
Yeah,
it's not,
I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah.
Just smoke on.
it's just not smoke on. I'm not a stoner. Point that out.
That's a yikes. All right, James, outro. It's your turn. Wow.
Copyrighted claim.